Hello, my Form 4 student. Yes, it's me again, Madam Gracious Kanzeni from Educare Tanzania. My Form 4 student, I hope you are doing well. Welcome to proceed with our chemistry session, and we are proceeding with our topic, which is soil chemistry. And my student, in first or in previous session tulishia kwenye we just mentioned the ways in which the chemical weathering, physical weathering taking place. Now my student, today we are going to discuss those ways in which physical weathering taking place. We are going to start with the pressure release. My student, in pressure release, simply here, pressure occurs over overlying rocks which removed by erosion, which release pressure cause rock to expand. Kwamba the pressure tend to be released over the overlying rocks. Now ambazo zile overlying rocks zimekuwa formed due to the erosion. So this process is tended to release pressure there in the rocks. After the rock expanding, it will result into stress with the rock, and then a crack is formed parallel to the rock surface. Over a period of time, the outer layer of the rock break away in sheets. Means that kwamba kama itatokea formation ya hizi pressure release in the rock, itapelekea stress kwenye rock. So kama rock zitakuwa na stress, it means the crack will be developed. So over a period of time, baada ya muda fulani, all these rocks or outer layers of the rock will break away. So will break away in sheets. So simply, this is how the pressure release influence, or how the physical weathering take place in this way. Another way in which the physical weathering take place is exfoliation. When we talk about exfoliation, my student, we are talking about the area in the deserts, whereby there are here occur in the hot deserts, where a temperature rises to over this one 40 degrees Celsius, and the night fall to below 10 degrees Celsius. Kwamba we are talking about the hot desert areas ambapo temperature ina rise mpaka 40 degrees Celsius, afu at the night ina fall below 10 degrees Celsius. So repetition of this cause expansion in the construction flow, kwamba kitendo cha rise and fall of the temperature katika this hot desert areas inapelekea expansion and the contraction of rock particles, kwamba zile rock particles zinatend to expand kwa sababu ya temperature kubwa. Vile vile temperature decrease or fall below 10 degrees Celsius, zile rock zina exhibit contraction mechanism, so they contract and expand. Hii hapa itapelekea ita create stress in the rock, ambayo hii itapelekea crack. So this crack, final the outer layer of the rock peel off, so finally itapelekea physical weathering take place. So this is another way in which physical weathering taking place. I hope my student, it is very understandable. So the aim is to understand kwenye exfoliation kitu gani kinatokea na kinatokea maeneo gani. So here we are just considering the rise and fall of the temperature, ambayo itapelekea stress kwenye rock. Ikishapelekea stress ita develop zile cracks kwa sababu ya expansion na ile contraction. Zile rock zikishapata zile crack, as time goes, is where the outer layer of the rock will peel off. Another is the frosty shattering. So frosty shattering occur in cold region and mountain tops. Hii yenyewe inatokea katika cold region, mikoa ya baridi sana, lakini vile vile katika zile mountain tops. For instance, you can talk about the mountain Kilimanjaro, the top of the mountain, kwa sababu kule kunakuwa na very low temperature. ile atmospheric pressure inakuwa ni ndogo, so where temperature is just above or below freezing point. So freezing point, hii temperature inakuwa above or below katika hizi mountain tops or katika hizi cold region. So water fill the cracks or joint in the rock and freeze at the night or during winter. So kipindi cha winter au during the night, maji yana tend to fill there kwenye zile joint au zile crack ambazo hizi rock zime develop. So after there, the repetition of this causes expansion and contraction of rock the same, na ikipelekea hivi mean that obvious this create the stress in the rock causing it to crack, and finally the broken material collected at the top, at the foot of the slope. Kwa sababu yenyewe hii kwa sababu hii this one frost shattering yenyewe kwa vile inatokea kwenye mountain tops, so kwa vile inatokea kwenye mountain tops, so the material, broken materials zinakuwa collected at the foot of the slope, down there, foot of the slope, chini ya ile miinuko. So that is how the physical weathering can take place. This is another way in which physical weathering taking place. Another ways of physical weathering taking place is crystallization. When we talk about crystallization here, we are involving those crystal salts, ile salt ambazo zinakuwa katika hali ya crystals, mawe. So the crystallization is the weathering by growth of salt crystals. In hottest region ambazo zinakuwa katika desert, evaporation draws groundwater from dissolved water upward into the pores of the rock. Kwamba in the hottest region ambapo evaporation ina draws groundwater from the dissolved water upward into the pore of the rock. Now when the water evaporates, the salts are left behind as crystals. Kwamba ile evaporation take place, zile salts zinabakia na zina remain or zina left behind kama crystals, zinabakia kama mawe fulani, mawe fulani. So zile crystals, salt crystals create the stress in the rock, na zenyewe zinapelekea the stress kwenye rock, ambapo hii stress ita weaken it and break it down into grains. Kwamba hizi stress ambazo zinakuwa created na hizi salt crystals kwenye rock itapelekea weaken and ita break it into break it down into grains. Now my students, let us look on the another ways in which the physical weathering can take place, which is in biological weathering. The biological weathering involves the roots growing into the cracks and the joints in the rock. But first of all, when we are talking about biological weathering, means that here we are talking about the living things. When we are talking about biology, here we are talking about the plants and the animals. Now, here roots growing into the cracks and the joints in the rocks. Kwamba you can see some of the roots of the plant, ile mizizi ya mimea inavyokuwa inaota au inakuwa inaelekea mpaka kwenye zile cracks au zile joints za rocks. So hii hapa inapelekea physical weathering to take place. But also burrowing animals such as a mouse, earthworm and the termites making hole or tunnel in the ground. Kwamba wale wanyama ambao wanajichimbia chini wanafanya burrowing. So they also create the environment whereby the rocks can be prone, or these rock particles can be easy to be weathered, ambapo itapelekea hizo influence the weathering to take place. Also human activities such as building roads and cultivating lands, kwamba zile shughuli zote ambazo zina disturb the soil or the top layer of the surface, air surface. So all this will influence or will cause the weathering to take place. Another issue or concept is the chemical weathering. My student, tumeona kuhusiana na physical weathering. Now when we talk about chemical weathering, simply mean that chemical weathering is the disintegration of rock material whereby chemical constant of mineral change. Kwamba here there is change in composition of the mineral, kwamba yenyewe ina involve ile disintegration or the breakdown of rock particles, lakini after there it involved the change of the composition or constituent of minerals. Something to note here in chemical weathering is chemical weathering destroy or change internal structure of the mineral, kwamba when we talk about internal structure tunaongelea ile inner. So the internal structure of the chemical weathering, I mean the internal structure of the mineral tend to be changed, tend to be destroyed by this chemical weathering. But also chemical weathering occur common in warm and wet areas, kwamba kwa kawaida hii chemical weathering ina take place katika warm areas. Warm areas ni sehemu za joto, vile vile sehemu zenye wet. When we talk about wet areas mean that kunakuwa na unyevu. So this will influence the chemical reaction to take place, and hence the chemical weathering will be influenced also. Now there is agents of chemical weathering. When we talk about agents of chemical weathering, tunaongelea zile factors ambazo zinaweza zikapelekea chemical weathering to take place. So there are two main agents of chemical weathering, only two main. The first one is water, ambayo tunaongelea maji. Vile vile there is weak acid ambayo ni carbonic acid. And when we talk about carbonic acid, there is the way in which can be produced simply by involving the reaction of rain or water with the carbon dioxide gas. So once the rain reacting with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, obviously we are going to have the carbonic acid ambayo ni hydrogen carbonate. So this is a simple mechanism or simple demonstration of chemical reaction which show how the carbonic acid formed. So this is the water molecule or rainfall. So it reacts with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, then you are going to have the carbonic acid or hydrogen carbonate. Now this carbonic acid is dissociating to hydrogen ions. So the presence of these hydrogen ions is where this form acidic or from the carbonic acid. But also the hydrogen ions can easily enter crystal structure and result in release as ion to the water. So hizi ion zinaweza zika involve kwenye hizi ions zinaweza zika, I mean this ion of hydrogen zinaweza can easily enter the crystal structure, crystal structure, so as it can result and release other ions into the water. Another is ways in which chemical weathering takes place. Kwamba this chemical weathering taking place by involving the different ways. We have the dissolution, we have the hydrolysis, we have the oxidation. And my student, when we are talking about dissolution, we are going to look more in these concepts. We are going to look in the next session one after another. But also when we talk about hydrolysis, we are going to look how the chemical weathering take place in this way. The same applied to oxidation. But my students, before I proceed more, I would like to come back here in the explaining this only this main physical, this many ways in which the physical weathering taking place. Kwa hiyo tunavyoongelea this ways ambazo weathering physical ina take place, zenyewe zipo mainly 5. Tuna hiyo pressure release, tuna exfoliation, we have the frosty shattering, but also we have crystallization, and we have this biological weathering. So simply you can able to differentiate these ways by considering their key points, but the aim is to support all the ways in which the physical weathering take place. Katika pressure release tumeona kwamba ni pressure inakuwa released, pressure inakuwa released katika rock, ambayo ile pressure inapelekea the formation of stress katika rock. Now katika exfoliation, we're just considering the rise and fall of the temperature, kwamba temperature inavyo rise na fall inapelekea the stress kwenye rock, ambacho hichi ni kitendo kinatokea rise and fall. At the night the temperature fall, at the day temperature rise. So na hii mostly inatoka katika hot desert areas, lakini katika frost shattering here we are just considering the mountain tops or cold regions. So vile hapa kuna repetition of the expansion and the contraction of the rocks. So what make the expansion and the contraction of the rock is once the water fills the crack or joint in the rock and freeze at the night or during the winter. So kuna kipindi cha winter, vile kuna kipindi cha this one night. So hiki kitendo kitapelekea hiyo hiki kitendo jinsi kinavyojirudia kinapelekea stress katika rock material. So baada ya kupelekea stress katika rock material is where the final the broken material collected at the top, kwamba ile weathering ita take place, zile material yatakuwa disintegrated au yatakuwa breakdown and so forth. But also crystallization, hapo tunaongelea the crystal salts, kwamba crystal salts zinakuwa influenced by the evaporation ambayo ina take place katika desert hottest regions. So those hottest regions au katika desert area ambayo kunakuwa na joto jingi sana, au katika ambayo ina evaporate ile jua kali ambayo inapelekea ile evaporation take place. Kwa ile evaporation ambayo take place ina involve the it's tend to left behind the salts as crystal, kwamba zile salts au zile salts zinakuwa remain behind, zinabakia, na zinapokuwa zinabakia zinakuwa kama crystals. So they are formed as a crystals in the rocks. After there is where those crystals tend to stress the rock, kwamba the salt crystals create stress in the rock, but after creating those after causing those stress kwenye rock inapelekea hiyo weakness, and finally the rock material tend to disintegrate. My student, nilikuwa najaribu kuweka sawa hizi ways the physical weathering, the way in which ways physical weathering process taking place, but katika kipindi kinachofuata tutaenda kuona the more about these ways chemical weathering takes place, ambapo tumeona kuna dissolution, hydrolysis and oxidation. Now my student, there is a task here for you. Try to attempt it so as you can increase your understanding and the question is, what do you understand about chemical weathering? Another one is, discuss the agent of chemical weathering. So this marks the end of our session. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and commenting our media, which is EducateZ. Thank you so much. Have a nice moment.